Right, okay, so 5.7, continuation of what pretty much we did today in class, in other words, all to do with the factoring. 5.7 is called special factoring products, little things, all right? And honestly, there's not that much special about them, especially these first few here. Now, when I look at that, I just think to myself exactly what we did from 5.6. It's a trinomial. How do you factor trinomials? Okay, so parentheses. Right, now this is just a nice simple x squared. So what's two numbers that make 81 when you multiply that make 18 when you add? Well, that is 9 and 9. Now, the only reason why these are called special products, all right, is because, look, they're the same parentheses. That's all this is, all right? So you're still just looking at these and going, okay, can I factor that into two parentheses? Two numbers that make 81 when you multiply, 18 when you add is 9 and 9. But here's the little extra step. We can write that as x plus 9 squared. Okay, that's it. That's all we want. That's the only extra step, really. Okay, quick look at the next one. Okay, two numbers that make 36 when you multiply, that make negative 12 when you add. Well, can you see that's negative 6 and negative 6? All right. Yeah. Two negatives make a positive 36 at the end. Negative 12 when I add. And again, it just wants x minus 6, again, all squared, because there's two of them next to each other. That's pretty much it. Now, looking at question 3, that's just one of those where there's a coefficient and a number in front of the x squared. So again, a little bit more awkward, but I mean, obviously for these, I know for this particular section, they've got to be the same parentheses. That's what we're doing, but right now you might not realize that. So again, two parentheses. But again, think about this. I'll put that then because I know it's going to be, you know, if it is, I'll just cheat a bit and put that, all right? Because I know hopefully those two will be the same. Now, again, you look at it and go, now if you guys want to do the AC method, go ahead and do it. But for me, this is looking at going, okay, 9x squared, 3x and 3x. Again, the same in each. That's the whole point about this particular section. But, you know, maybe the question hasn't come from this section. There you go. There's your 9x squared, 3x times 3x. How do you make 4? Well, I know it could be 4 and 1, but I think for this section it's 2 and 2. Okay, so 2 and 2. There you go, looking the same so far. Right, remember it needs to be positive 4. So it could be two positives. Remember, it could be two negatives. Here's the clue for the fact that it's two negatives, all right? There you go. So again, both the same. And if you need to FOIL that, you will get, look at the outer, negative 6x, inner, again, negative 6x. There's your negative 12x in the middle. And again, I'm just going to write this, 3x minus 2, because they are the same, 6 minus 2 squared. And that really is all the difference between what you've done in the previous session. I mean, again, with question 4, honestly, all you're doing for this one is, first of all, take an x out. Remember, sometimes you can always factor something out first, then it becomes a bit like just these trinomials, x squared plus 20x, there's the x term, and here's the number at the end, plus 100. Okay? Now I can see for this one, again, so, you know, you leave that x where it is, you're going to factor this, okay? So again, leave the x where it is, and remember, what's two numbers that make 100 when you multiply, they make 20 when you add? 10 and 10, x plus 10, x plus 10. Again, tediously equals, squeeze at the end, here's an x with an x plus 10, get it in there at the end, squared. Okay, that's all it wants, that's the only difference. I mean, normally something like that over here would be fine, you factored it, but we're just writing, it's like shorthand, x plus 10 with an x plus 10, call it x plus 10 squared. And that's pretty much it. I mean, just sneakily, can you remember these? If you want to do question 5, remember, I've kind of already taught you this from a previous session, ignore the second letter. Remember that one? And then just deal with it and then put it back in at the end. Okay, that's the only difference for question 5. So those are called special products. Not that special, it's just the two parentheses come out to be the same. So write it as that parenthesis squared. There you go.